While sitting here and missing you, thunder roar, giving me the blues. But when I close my eyes and I think of you, remembering times I feel like you. Every day, my favorite words you say still makes me smile. Just like yesterday, I need you here really bad. Cause when you're gone, my heart is sad. My own love, how the smoke still flies. Keep me in the sky. And I'm so high, my own love, how the smoke still flies. I'm so high, where are you now? In the rain, my angel came. In the rain, my angel came. In the rain, my angel came. Good evening. How y'all doing today? Welcome to another week of conversations with a masterful raconteur. I'm Florida's own Barry S. McLeod, and this show is brought to you by bbinging.com. bbinging.com. I was debating what I was going to have this conversation this evening, and I thought I would just go ahead and do it anyway, because I hope that somebody will become better, especially women. I hope that some woman will become so much better, because I'm here to tell you, man, some women are a trip. You know, so many conversations I have. Me being a hairstylist in a salon, I do mainly women's hair, and I hear it all. I have heard it all for many, many years, and you know, you know, a lot of conversations are about men and relationships. So I listen, I pay attention, and I feel like I can halfway understand why some women, are single, and why when they get in a relationship, it doesn't last. Now, I ain't trying to be no expert, no authority. I am not trying to bash anybody. I got this story I'm going to share with y'all just to make my point. Now, I go to the bowling alley every week. I have this beautiful job, and it's a part of my job. So I'm at the bowling alley like every week. And so there's this lady that she would be there sometimes. I haven't seen her since this story, this particular day where I'm gonna share this story with you all. I haven't seen her, maybe, and I think maybe, I don't know, maybe she's just not coming. Maybe she is embarrassed to see me. I don't know. I don't care. But she's someone who was a complete stranger to me. And so when I would go there and see her, I would notice the sister checking me out. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just telling y'all a story. I would see her checking me out. She'd be looking at me. She smiled and stuff, and she'd wave, and I wave, and I stay in my lane, and I keep going. So one day, uh, I'm over at my table at my lane with my people who I work with. We're minding our own business, and so she decides. I guess she built up her nerves to approach me. And so she says, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm fine. How you doing?" And you know, I am a friendly person with most people, and uh, so I was just being myself. And she's like, "You seem like a really sharp guy. It's just something really sharp about you that I just really admire." And I said, "Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that." Now, she was not for me, put it like that. She was not for me. And I could clearly see that. And but she was polite, I was polite. And so she says, she asked me, she says, "Are you married?" And I said, I knew, I was thinking to myself, I gotta shut this down because I see where she's going. So I said, "Yeah, I'm married." She said, "Oh, okay." She said, "I figured you was married. You look like the kind of man that would be married." So I exaggerated the lie, and I said, "Yeah, I got 6 children, baby." I said, "And they small children." I said, all I do is work and go home and take care of home." And she looked at me. She kind of laughed a little bit. And she said, "Oh, okay. Okay." She said, "Well, I was just wondering if I could talk with you sometime." I said, "Well, sweetheart, you know, my wife, she keep a close handle on me. I would get a chance to do nothing but come to work. I'm sorry." So she kind of sniggled a little bit. She said, "Oh, okay." And she had that look like she was not satisfied with my response to her. So she went on back to her table, and the next week I came, she was there again, and she spoke. She was friendly and everything. I was friendly back. "Hey, how you doing?" Kept it moving. So uh, the next week, she was there. This is the third week. So she decides to come over and sit down at my table and make conversation. And I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh man, here we go." So she was small talking, and I just small talk back because, like I say, I'm a friendly guy. She didn't. She was just being friendly. I knew where she was coming from, but you know, no big deal. So she tells me, she says, "I was in a relationship, but I'm not in a relationship anymore." And I'm thinking to myself now, even though I lied, I done told this woman that I'm married and I have small children. So obviously, she don't care nothing about that, right? So uh, she running her little game, and I said, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that you and your man is not together, you know." And she said, "Well, I'm not." I say, "Okay, boy, it's coming. It's coming." So I um I was trying to play dodgeball. I was trying to stay out of harm's way, if you will. So this sister, she's looking at me like straight in the eye, like nonstop. Minutes going by, and this sister started gazing at me in the eye, and I'm kind of looking away and back and forth at her, and she just kind of acting like she thinks that I'm just this shy man, and like she got some kind of leverage, you know. And I'm knowing that she don't have a clue she dealing with the real deal, but she don't have a clue. But I don't want her to know because I'm not interested in her. And I just want to polite my way out of this situation. But she done came and planted herself at my table and she talking to me. So she starts telling me some stuff about her relationship, which I don't want to hear. And so all of a sudden, she came with her punch. And it just kind of came out of nowhere. Hey, and this sister says to me, she says, you know, I'm real good at giving head. And I thought, damn, I didn't really want to respond to it. I said, oh. And I'm really trying to do the Muhammad Ali and do the Ali shuffle and the rope a dope and get out of this situation. But she's sitting at my table. And, you know, so she tells me this story. And she's looking me in the eye and she's kind of giggling and laughing like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. And she tells me this story. She said, one time, I was giving my man some head and I had my mouth full and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I still had my mouth full. And I'm looking at her. Now, there's probably some men right now that might be watching this saying, Barrett, man, what's your problem? But you know, I'm on a different level. I'm really offended. I'm offended for a lot of different reasons. For number one, you, this woman, you don't come over here. First of all, you done complimented me and told me that you think I'm a pretty sharp man. You said to me, I think she said something like, this was on the first round. She was like, you look like you got a lot going for yourself. It's really something unique about you. She was just kind of coming like that. So I'm thinking in this moment when she done told me this story, I'm thinking, so you said that you felt that I'm a pretty sharp man. What is a really sharp man to her was the question. Because a smart woman, a woman of class, a woman of integrity, a woman with a decent intellect, she doesn't think that a man who is sharp, who's got, he's like a really sharp guy, he stands he's not like most men. She doesn't think that she could go up to him and tell him something like that. Because if I go for that, I'm not a sharp man at all. She will have pulled me down to a lower level, a lower standard. And so I was offended, but I didn't show it. I smiled. I was really ready for her to get on up and go on about her business. And she's still sitting up there trying to talk to me. And my body language is starting to fidget and everything. And I'm looking at her, my smile is not what it was. And I'm looking at her, not mean or mad, but I'm looking at her, in a very different way. If she was really paying attention, she would have recognized that my eyes are saying, baby, who you think you is? What make you think that you can come over here and tell me a story like that, and that's how you gonna get me? How did I go from being a pretty sharp man in your eyes to somebody that you can approach with some game like that? As a man, it's not, I'm not offended that she freaky. That's something that can be appreciated. But you're a complete stranger to me, woman. You don't know me. You don't come to me like that. So I was offended on that kind of level because I just don't I don't talk to women, like for a personal relationship. I don't talk to women that's on that level. I just don't. If a woman is smart and super intelligent, got things going for herself, and she is freaky, fine. But you don't approach me like that. You know, I've seen men approach women like that. I remember one time when I was running my last club, there was this woman that she came to the club and she started. I would be behind the bar working and she was beautiful. She was a beautiful woman, and so I was noticing her, but I was not allowing her to know that I was noticing her. And she planted at the corner at the end of the bar, and she was just posted up and watching me, and she had now found out that I was the owner, and she was like a lot of women want to know who the owner is, and da 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 da. Y'all can do the math on that. Um, and so one of my buddies came and told me, say, man, stick right here, man. She want to talk to you, and she wants you to come over there and serve her a drink, and man, she's married. She's married to this professional baseball player. And the information, I took it to be solid information. So right away, I'm thinking, so she's married to a professional baseball player, you know, and she's in the club by herself. Well, she's with a girlfriend, and she's hitting on me. And so, um, so I'm doing the math in my head on that. So I would go over and serve her a drink, and she paid for her drink. And so she started a conversation with me. And at that particular time, you know, my horns was up a little bit, and I'm checking her out. And in the midst of us talking, we just small talking because I didn't ask her for a number or anything like that. She did not ask for mine, but all the signals was a go. And so a buddy of mine who hung out with me a lot. Now he wild. He was wild, man. He's kind of dude that women like this first woman I was telling y'all about. He's on that level, the male version. He walks up to this woman who's married to this baseball player who's hitting on me because I'm the owner of the club, and he told her right in front of me, he said, baby, I just want to take my tongue and stick it up the crack of you know what. The woman lit up like a Christmas tree and forgot I was even standing there. And later on, me and him laughed about it because we used to play that game, put different women in the pick like that, you know. And so, you know, I scratched my head. Now, the woman that was in the club and the woman that was at the bowling alley, two very different perspectives. Very different perspectives. Both of them, when it come down to kinky and freaky, crack pipe, peace pipe, same thing. And so my question is like, what is it that makes a woman think that a man is supposed to fall for her, give her who he is, what he is, and let's just say a man who does have something going for himself, not just no any kind of guy, but a man who is sharp, got his money, got his stuff together. You gotta have something going on upstairs in order to have your stuff together. Whether you're a man or a woman. But what makes a woman think that she can see a man who, in her mind, he has his stuff together? You know, He's, maybe a cut above the average guy. And all she has to do to get him is throw some sex game. What kind of man is he really then? Is he really that smart? Is he really that sharp? Because money don't make you a man. The nice clothes don't make you a man. The car you drive, it don't make you a man. So you got to be a man in order to have those things. But if you a real man, if you a sharp man, then you don't fall for just anything, especially when it's got sex on the front end of it. Because the average woman, she's gonna be sexy anyway. So if you got your stuff together, why would you deal with a woman that, she just wants you just to get her freak on? Like, is that what you really about, brother? And brother means man, regardless of what your race is. Is that really what you're about? So I just shake my head sometimes when I think about some women. What does it make a woman think that a sharp man, a man that got something going for himself, who's tested and proven as somebody who has accomplished some significant things with his life, what makes a woman think that she can just walk up to him and put her sex appeal on him, and he's going to forfeit all his qualities and all his values and all of his integrity just for a sexual encounter or a rendezvous or a supposed to be relationship that is basically just sex based? I just shake my head to that. Most of us men, when we were younger, well, that was cool. But to me, a man who's in my season of life, if you ain't been there and done that, if you ain't had the best of the best, at this point in time, if you haven't had the best in this point in time, I don't know, maybe that's why you would do it. But if you're a seasoned man and you're not a stranger to women, and that don't mean you've been no good. Most of us, there was a point in our life where we were in the category of no good, because most of us who like women, there was a point in time where we chased women. But most of us really sharp, man. We did that in our earlier life. A woman see me now and think that her freak game is so up to date that she could have me. That is demeaning to me. That is telling me that you don't see what's right in front of you. You don't see a real man. You don't see a sharp man. You see some action that you want to take, and you have no respect, none, for who I am and what I stand for, and you don't even want to know. So back to the woman at the bowling alley. What I did with her to maneuver my way out of that, I said, "Do you like movies?" And she said, "Yeah, I like movies." So I'm thinking maybe when I asked her that, I had a reason for asking her that. But her reaction was more or less like maybe she thought maybe I was going to invite her to a movie or something. And then I thought about it. I was like, I don't know. So I said, well, the reason why I ask you that, I said, because I am a filmmaker. I said, I make movies. He said, oh, really? Wow. I knew it was something special about you. I don't know if that's game or not. I could care less. But I said, yeah, I make movies. I said, I do stage plays. I've done a lot of plays that, similar to the same type of plays that Tyler Perry has done. I've done that for a lot of years. And really I was trying to show her, excuse me, I was trying to show her that even though it's too late and it never was realistic, this is your opportunity to reboot and just go into a different mode and how you want to talk to me going forward. Uh, because sweetheart, you talking to a man that I ain't nobody special. I'm not arrogant and bougie or nothing like that. Uh, but I stand for something, and I'm not just any guy. You can't. The way you approach me, that's not the way you should approach me. That's really indirectly what I was trying to show her. So I said, well, no, I do movies. She said, well, where can I see your movies? I said, well, I have my own streaming platform, and you can go there. She said, oh, I would love to see him. I would love to watch him. I said, okay, well, I told her, you go to bbinging.com, and I said, it's a subscription site. It costs only $2.99, but you can watch all the stuff that I got on there 24/7 for a whole month. She was like, $2.99. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Y'all see what I'm talking about? A dud, a complete dud. You know, maybe a good person in a lot of different ways. Maybe, who knows? Maybe she's a millionaire. I don't know. Maybe it was some test she was running. I don't know. But what I do know is that there was a lot of ignorance in her approach to me. It was a lot of ignorance from the beginning of it all the way to the end of it, as far as me, who I am, and what I stand for. And so the truth is, there's just far too many women out there, in my opinion. And I believe this is fact. And I really believe that many of you will agree with me. There's too many women out there that they just using their bodies to say that they qualify for a good man. And when they get down to, or should I say, when they get past the point of the freak show, the question becomes, what do you have then? And then the bigger question becomes, what did you have all along? And maybe the biggest question is, what is it that never was there? So I guess because there are men who would have took that deal, you fell asleep on it, slept for a while, woke up, and still had a full mouth. There's a lot of men would have jumped for that, and I'm just not one of them. So yeah, some women, man, I'm just shaking my head, man. I just don't know. That's what the world is, and I ain't got no magic wand, and I ain't Jesus, I ain't God. So it is what it is. But anyway, I want to thank all of y'all for touching in with me. Red, what's going on, man, over there in Mobile? Sabrina, Ozzy Oz, one of my favorite DJs. Uh, who else is touched in with me? My cousin out in Houston, Alfonso, Monique, how you doing? Uh, I got Brunswick, Georgia. I got Angel. I got an old buddy of mine, actually one of my best friends who I love dearly, who we hadn't talked in a while, all the way from Brunswick. I got St. Simon Islands touching in with me. Georgette, hello. And Gwen, how you doing, dear? Who else touched in with me? I might be missing somebody. But anyway, that's all I want to share with y'all today. And uh, I hope that this conversation wises somebody up. Even if it's not you, but you know somebody, that they kind of don't have their balance on point when it comes down to meeting a man, particularly if they want to be in a solid relationship with a good man. You know, it's going to take more than your body, baby. Trust me, it's going to take more than your body, because there's a whole lot of women got body and got freak game. So if you want to get a sharp man, it's going to take a whole lot more than that. Trust me. Anyway, I'm gonna touch out with y'all right now. I do have. I'm making my new movie. I'm getting ready to go in production with my new movie, Cheetah Player. It's a comedy movie, and I do have a GoFundMe account set up. And as y'all can see on one of the screens here, that is my Cash App account to the right side of me Productions, and we'll appreciate donations in any amount. I don't want to put nobody on the spot because I have a lot of friends and some family that is they support me and they hit the like button and the love button. But boy, as soon as I say, "Can you help me with a donation?" they get ghosts on me. And I don't want to lose no friends and no family over no $2 or $3 So, but if you happen to be somebody who how passionate I am and how dedicated I am into this production journey that I'm on, and you would like to, or you don't mind helping me out, uh, just go to my Facebook page. You're gonna see a lot of different posters on there with my GoFundMe link, and just click on there and just give me a donation of any amount because this movie is gonna be so good, and everybody that donates, you are automatically a part of it. I appreciate it. I'm Florida's own Barry S. McLeod, truly the right kind of different. Want to send a shout out there to Martin Peanut. And I thank y'all for touching in with me. I'm out of here for the evening, and I'll see y'all next Monday for more conversations with a masterful raconteur brought to you by bbenton.com. God bless you.